Hey gamers, today we're looking at Planet Unknown and its expansion Supermoon. Let's check it out. I should mention that this is the deluxe edition I will be reviewing, but here is a Lazy Susan. It's so beautiful, so awesome, so unique. You'll put your little triangles of your color, and all the other players will do so around the board. It should match up to one of these little bays here. You'll also keep one for yourself if you're too stupid to realize what color you are. You'll have your own player board here. You'll start with all the resources here at the bottom. You'll have either 1, 2, 3, 4 of these rovers depending on what's here. These boards are double-sided with different starting abilities and different other special abilities in the game. You'll have your own player board. There are several of these little planets in the game to kind of mix it up here, different designs and whatnot. But you're always going to start with 6 life pods somewhere on your planet. And then, if you're playing with the Supermoon expansion, you'll have a lot of these Supermoons. You'll pick one of these. These are also double-sided too. Put these little meteors where you see the meteor tokens there, and your satellite in one of these 2 areas where you see the circle here. You will also be laying out and shuffling these 4 decks here into 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll deal out as many cards as there are players in the game, plus 1. And then, of course, you'll have, I'm bringing out all the little modules here. There's an event deck if you want to use that. Starting player would use this. Whoever's turning the Lazy Susan will take this and then pass it to the next player when it's their turn. You're going to shuffle this deck, pass out 2 secret objectives to people. These are double-sided, so they get 2 secret objectives and keep 1. And then you're going to deal out 1 of these in between each of the players. And these are shared common goals. That means for me in yellow, we're competing to get these points here. For me in blue, we're competing for these points over here. And it's always going to be different because there's a huge deck here. In fact, the Supermoon expansion also gives you more of basically everything you see here. You'll also have your little green tiles over to the side, and then you are ready to play. How the game goes is very simple. What you're going to do, starting with the starting player, they're going to turn the dial here and select any one of these tiles, either this side or up here, any one of them. And then, at the same time, the other players will also be doing that. So yellow player will have to take here, blue player will have to take there. And then I would take my thing and then put it on the map. Now, the rule is, of course, it can't go over the square here, so over the outlines there, it can't go there. You can also put it on your Supermoon here. But if I place it over a life pod, that life pod just goes away. It's not bad, but for every life pod you can collect, you will get a victory point at the end of the game. So let's say I placed it here. Now, there's 2 things here. First off, I'm going to go, well, I'll just put it up here. How's that? That's even better. All right. From now on out, all these other Tetris pieces, they must connect flat against mine. They can't connect unless you have a rule breaker for that. Anyway, so I'm going to go up both of these tracks, the black track and the green tracks. The black track I go up, and the green track I go up. Now, what do these tracks do? Each track is different. The more I go at the black track, the further I go, not only can I get victory points in the game, but also I'll be able to choose one from the 1, 2, 3, and 4 pile. These can be special abilities or in-game points or immediate actions you can take right then and there, and whoever gets up this one the fastest will get first pick of these. Blue is basically strict victory points in a lot of it. If you see this kind of all color little circle like thing, that is one that basically says you can move up any one of these tracks. So you can do some combo moves. So if blue moved up here, I could also move green up here. Well, I landed on another circle, so then I can move black up there, and that was just one turn, move all those up one. But anyway, blue is mainly just straight victory points. You can get the big victory points from blue. Green, whenever you get to one of these little emblems, you're going to put one of these little green pieces down on your player board just to kind of help fill in the space, because the game's going to end when someone can't place another tile on their planet here. The red will let you bring out rovers. In this example, I only have 1, but in other examples, people can have 2, 3, 4. It just depends. And what the rovers do, once you place out that tile, and when you activate a rover, then he can go anywhere on that tile. So let's say I activated him on my next turn. Maybe yellow played this, so I did this, and I move this around like that. And now I can bring my rover out, and he's got to go on the tile that I just placed anywhere. But when I move up again, any chance it takes to move either 1, 2, 3 spaces, if you have multiple of these rovers, you can split the movement. So if I had 3 movement points, I could split one and go 1, and then the other one go 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3 like that. If I had 3 movements, but they can go off the grid as well. And what they're doing is when they get to a life pod, they collect it. and it moves over here for 1 victory point at the end of the game. Also, I forgot to mention, when I place this tile, as you see, it has this little emblem here, which means I should have placed a meteorite here. And what's the deal about meteorites? Meteorites will prevent you from scoring at the end of the game. You're scoring for every row you completed horizontally and vertically on the planet, and the points are here over to the side. However, if there's a meteorite, it is completed, but there's a meteorite there, it does not score. So eventually you have to bring your rover around to remove that meteorite. Now, the good thing about meteorites, they go over here, and for every 3 you have, you get a victory point. It says that on the little player board here. In fact, the game also comes with a 3 and 6 token. If this kind of gets, it can get kind of packed after a while, especially with the Supermoon expansion with meteorites. So this kind of helps give you some room in that little area there. But that's for the rover. And the white track unlocks special abilities. Now here's the cool thing. Everyone's special ability is going to be different because these player boards are all different. So you're going to be moving around. Everyone's going to be selecting these. Then I'll pass this to the next player. They'll choose. And then we'll all pick from the one in front of us too. And we keep going until someone can't place one or someone has completed their planet. And then you're going to add up all your victory points that are done like so here. But before I end, it says, you know, hey, look at your planet points, look at your resource tracks. Where are you on the furthest you are up these resource tracks, you get points. This one says, hey, for every 3 meteorites, you get a victory point. For any of these CIV cards here, you count up their victory points. Any private objectives, count them up. And then whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, that's the base game. You can play with some extra modules, and that's what I'm going to talk about. You can play with the event deck. This is basically just random good or bad events. You can play with this little module here that gives you one of each different color, sometimes to get goals, objectives, either in the shared objectives here or private objectives or CIV stuff. You may need to put these little onesies down, and so that means whenever you go up and get a green one, instead of just grabbing a green one, you can grab one of these tiles and place it on the board, because matching colors can also help as well. Sometimes keeping your stuff matched together can help you in secret objectives or, like I said, other shared objectives you're trying to accomplish there. The other thing you can do, if you include this module here, instead of picking one, like let's say these are the 2, well, man, I don't need any one of those. None of those are going to help me because I'm getting close to finishing up my board and I only have a bunch of 2 spaces out. Well, 3 times in the game, you can choose to get any 2 of these. Now you see that's really nice because these little 2s can fill in gaps just about anywhere, but unfortunately they also come with a meteorite. So you need to make sure to clear the meteorite. So it's, you know, it's convenient, but you don't want to get too many of these. You're having to clear out meteorites or suffer from a very low score at the end of the game. The other thing, of course, is Supermoon. I already told you where it starts, but how Supermoon works is every time you grab a tile, if I didn't want to place on my board, I could place it on the Supermoon and anywhere I wanted to. So just maybe like that. Now, however many squares, grids I cover, that's how many times I can move this satellite. And there are these little dots everywhere on the side here and even the corners there. So I move it 1, 2, 3. Now I get to orient this thing horizontal or vertical. So that was terrible. Maybe I didn't want that one. Let's say I got this one, which was, oh my goodness, 5. And I can't cover up other meteorites. 3, 4, 5. So I would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is better. So I definitely want to go this way. And it eliminates, and of course I had to put another meteorite there, but it would eliminate every meteorite on this row because it's shooting this way. And maybe later on, if I made it down to here, I'd shoot that way. Or if I was in a nice area like this, I could either shoot it this way or that way to eliminate meteorites. Now, you want to eliminate these meteorites because at the end of the game, this is going to give you -3 victory points for every meteorite that's left on your Supermoon. It's also, and all these are different, for every pair of matching tiles that have these 2 emblems on them, you're going to get 4 victory points. And if you have one of each of the 5 different lands on your Supermoon, you're going to get 8 victory points at the end of the game. And basically, that is Planet Unknown. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well, this was a Kickstarter I've been looking for a couple months now. It was supposed to come out last year. It got really delayed because every Kickstarter lies to you. I've already talked many times about that. So, of course, they lied, or they're incredibly stupid either way. But they have a good game here. It's a great game. So much fun. The Lazy Susan's just wonderful. That's the whole reason I got it in the first place. My gaming group really loved it. We played it a couple of times. I mean, they were avidly, usually I say, okay, let's play it again. They went, oh, we want to play something else. This time they wanted to play this one a lot. They really enjoyed this one. I really do too. I think it's so easy to learn, but I like the different planets, the different goals you have individually and against other players. I think that's really cool. The player to my left and the player to my right, we're all playing for different goals, sometimes the same, and then there's one goal, if it's a 3-player game, I don't even care about that goal, you know, because I don't get any points from it. I remember someone was looking at everyone's goal saying, I completed that one. How did you get the rules wrong on that? They just got confused on it. But either way, though, it's really a lot of fun. The Lazy Susan has a cover on it that really doesn't fit very well, but other than that, I do enjoy the deluxe edition. Of course, I'm going to get deluxe edition. I really love it. I love how everyone made 1,000 unboxing videos for Supermoon, but no one has yet to explain it. And the rules are actually very simple. It doesn't really make the game clunky at all. It actually adds a little bit more to it. At first, we weren't using much on the Supermoon, but then, of course, as the game started going on, it does extend the game a little bit longer because now you have more places to place the polyhedron pieces and everything. So that extends the game a little bit, but we didn't feel it overstayed its welcome, and it was really nice, and yes, I'll probably be playing with this. As for all the other expansions, you can put them in the event deck, take or leave it. I'll take it, you know, most times, sometimes, but if we don't play with it, I'm fine with that. The other little modules were the little different colored land tiles, one-off land tiles. We've maybe used those once, you know, not much. The other ones, the two-tile ones, I'll always have them in the game, but that's something else that maybe I used twice in one game, and maybe someone else used once. I mean, they don't get used as much, but it's nice to have those options there. So I'm not dogging it, I actually think it's fine. So the other little modules are fine. The Supermoon one I'll probably add anyway, because like I said, the game does go really fast, so this adds a few more glorious minutes to it and makes it fun. Anyway, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, you know what to do. Game on!